Well, it's 12 o'clock. It's time to get started. Welcome, everybody, to today's webinar. My name is Adam Morehouse. I'm the marketing manager. I'm joined by Jean Cook, your trainer. And our guest today is Jodi Panui, back again from Shoebox Books. All right, so to get started, I'm just going to bring up our slides for today. All right. All right, now there's a couple of things I need to mention this morning. We have muted everybody just so that we don't have any interruptions. Sometimes someone might say something or something might happen in the background or a conversation in the background, and then the camera goes to you and that gets recorded forever. Sometimes it can be embarrassing. So for this session, we've turned that off. With regards to the questions and answers, you'll notice in the chat box, we've disabled the chat box, but if you click on more, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see that there's a Q&A icon there. So you can put your questions in there, and we will answer them at the end. So we're going to hold off on the questions till the end of today's session. Feel free to pop any questions in there. You also see that there's a function in there that if somebody's already asked the question that you have, you can upvote that question so that it is shown as more prominent, that more than one person has asked the question, and we'll get around to answering those questions for you. All right, so Jodi, can you introduce yourself a little bit for us, please?
Unmute Jodi.
Oh, we need to make her a co-host, I think.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, now we've got you. Yes.
Hi everyone, I'm Jodi from Shoebox Books and Tax Springwood here in the Gold Coast, so I'm not far away from Rose Training head offices. I've been a bookkeeper and a tax accountant now for, I don't know, 7-8 years. So hopefully I can help you with some information that might help you on your way through this tax season.
Awesome. Thanks, Jodi. So these are the slides that we're going to go through today. Now, today's a special session for all of our students. Normally, we also invite graduates, but today it's pretty much all of our students, active students at Rose, those of you that are going through the course right now. And the idea of this webinar is just to help you get an idea of how you're going to frame your business or structure your business once you become a registered marriage celebrant. It's just asking the right questions, sort of putting you in the right sort of framework for when you do go to become a marriage celebrant and you start basically transacting as a marriage celebrant. So, right. So our first slide. Jodi, if you could tell us a bit about having the right structure, what the options are.
Yeah. Okay, so I would expect that most of you will probably just operate as sole traders. So we do have a few different structures. Just to give you an idea here, we've got a sole trader. You can operate as a company, or you can also operate as a trust. Companies and trusts operate under a limited liability and protect your assets from being taken off you in the event of something happening. But for the majority of you, I'd think that a company and a trust would simply be overkill, and that you'd be operating these businesses as sole traders. Sole trader is just a different way of using your TFN. It attaches an ABN and effectively is just another way of using your TFN, and it's just recorded slightly differently on your tax return, where you'd add in a business schedule and record your income and expenses of operating that business on that business schedule in your tax return. Okay, you can have you can register a business name underneath your ABN. You can have multiple business names. If you already have an ABN that you use for something else, so say, hey, you may be a cook and you sell cupcakes and cakes and you use an ABN for that, but now you've decided that you want to be a celebrant, you can register a separate business name and use the same ABN. If you're going to do that, I would recommend that you do 2 business schedules, one for your cupcake business on your tax return and one for your marriage celebrants, just so that they can see they are 2 clearly different businesses using the same ABN. Yeah, let's go to the next one.
Okay.
So declaring your income, like I mentioned, on your tax return, you'd set up a business schedule. Now, it's a business schedule that you would actually click to add in on your tax return. You want to be declaring your income that you earn as well as your expenses. Now, a little bit later on down these slides, we do have a spreadsheet that you can use to track that for you. If you want to use software, you can, but as long as you are tracking the income that you're making from your marriage celebrancy and tracking all of the expenses associated to that, then a spreadsheet is totally okay. Now, all of the income that you earn, including the deposits that you take, whether they're going to be refunded to a client or not, just keep it there. Now, if you are refunding back deposits to clients, I would be tracking that as an expense. So yes, hey, I've taken an income here, that is the income, but now I've had to refund it down here, so have another line as an expense going refunds back to clients. Just keeps it easy rather than deleting the income because you've paid it back. A lot easier to remember if you can see that the line there for the income is here, but now the refund is going out as well. You can claim your travel expenses to go out to weddings. To claim if you're going somewhere special and it's a location and you have to hire a room or you have to fly somewhere, you can claim all of those costs as well. You just keep those tracked on your spreadsheet. Now, tips and bonuses, I think that was more there so that if you are receiving kickbacks from somebody, say you've got an alliance with a photographer or a venue, and for every client you send their way, they give you $50, you'd still actually want to be tracking that as an income, and you'd track it as a referral fee or a referral income, rather than saying it was a tip or a bonus. Okay, we can move on to the next one. Okay, so deductions here. Deductions always gets to a sticky point here in our webinar.
This is a big one. Yes.
So you can claim all of your marketing. If you are advertising on Facebook, if you have a social media expert, if you are producing flyers, your business cards, all of that is tax deductible for you. Ceremony clothing and props, this is where we become a little bit sticky. Okay, the props that you use at a wedding, if you've got a special table that you use, or you've got tablecloths that you stick on the table, you've got a special feather pen that you might use, maybe some flowers that you might purchase to put on the table, those things are tax deductible for you because they're used to help in doing what you do. Unfortunately, the clothing that you wear and the hair and the makeup that you do to provide your service is not tax deductible. Okay, as far as the ATO is concerned, you need to wear clothes. Whether they are fancy clothes or normal clothes, you will be wearing clothes. Therefore, the clothes that you wear for that special occasion is not tax deductible. Okay, same goes for any lawyer or any financial broker who thinks that they need to wear a very expensive suit. They're in the same boat and their clothes are not deductible. Okay. The travel.
Jodi, last year you told us about hair and makeup may be an exception.
Yeah, so hair and makeup can be an exception if you can find a hair and makeup person who will provide you with an invoice that states that the hair and makeup provided for you was for the wedding that you did on this date. I just don't know of any hairdresser that you can get who will provide you with that invoice stating that that the hair was provided specifically for that occasion. When you see somebody on stage, the reason why they are provided with hair and makeup is because they can't go somewhere and get it done elsewhere and be able to claim it on their taxes. Okay, if you can find one, that's great.
I think it's worth it. If you can, it'd be well worth it. I think
If anyone finds one, share it,
Yeah.
please.
we worked it out for Jean, and it was not a small amount of money.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no,
but-
it's definitely worth claiming for, Jodi. But as you say, finding the hairdresser who is willing to provide you with a written invoice stating they did your
Maybe-
hair on that particular date for that particular wedding.
Yeah. It may be worth even talking to your brides and going, who are you using that day? Because they're probably providing an invoice to your brides.
That's actually a great idea, Jodi. That is a great idea.
They may very well be able to go, hey, yeah, I can provide you with an invoice. I mean, especially you're more likely to find a makeup artist that would do it.
Yeah.
I don't know about a hairdresser.
Yeah.
A makeup
Okay.
artist is more likely to provide you with an invoice saying, I provided makeup for the wedding of such and such on this day.
Yeah. Okay, so
It's worth a
celebrants
try.
gate crash the bridal parties, hair and makeup morning. Love it.
Or come and do mine before you do theirs, you know, or
Yeah.
once you're finished with them, come and see me in my room.
Come and do me. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Great advice.
Well, Jean, have you been brave enough to ask your hairdresser?
No.
Okay.
No, I just wouldn't. I just know the mechanics of what and how they do things. And I could just imagine what the reaction would be if I mean, they don't even have till receipts.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
No.
You're more likely to find a mobile, I would think, a
person.
mobile one who is perhaps maybe hair and makeup in one.
All together.
That might, they might provide you with one.
Anyway, if anyone finds one, like I said, share.
Share it.
Share.
All right.
Maybe there's a business idea for somebody out there.
Yeah,
You want to learn to do
certainly
hair
is.
and makeup.
You know, and if you're doing a wedding every weekend, Jodi, or 2 or 3 times a week, and you're looking to get your hair done all of the time so that you look absolutely professional, because it is a wedding, those dollars mount up really quickly.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Okay, so travel and accommodation, I think I mentioned in the previous slide. Yes, you can claim those. They are tax deductible for you. Again, track that on your spreadsheet and make notes so that if in your diary you have a wedding, on your spreadsheet, just put the name of that wedding and where it was provided so that you've got some evidence that if it was me, to be in all honesty, I would collect. Do they hand out? I don't know. Do they hand out little, this is the wedding of things? Maybe
they have a sign. They have a sign, Jodi, usually at a wedding.
Yeah,
you can
even
ask for an
asking for one of
invitation.
the invitations. Yeah, so that you've got evidence that, hey, I was at this wedding on this date. This is where it was. They just like you to have evidence of stuff. Home and office. So home and office can be claimed as a deduction on your tax return. There are 2 different ways of tracking your home office. One is to claim the actual costs. It's a little bit more complex in claiming the actual costs. I want to add here that if you own your own home, I wouldn't track the actual costs. Okay, I would claim the fixed rate method. Now, the fixed rate method is I worked from home for myself on this date for these number of hours. Keep it a logbook, just like you do with your car. The ATO likes to see logbooks, and they think of your home just the same as the car now. I worked from home, keep a spreadsheet. I would attach an extra page, maybe the spreadsheet that we've given you here, that just simply says I worked from home for 3 hours on this particular date, and the rate, fixed rate method is 70 cents per hour for every hour that you work. Now that covers your electricity, your home internet, and your phone, and you can't claim additional for those things. Okay, the actual cost method is I worked from home for this many hours, my square meterage of my property. Now this is the actual property, not the square meterage of your home. So if you're on a 650 square meter block, the size of my office is 10 square meters. You would take that off the 650 square meters of the property. Now I say it's a lot more complex because now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. And there's a calculation. The ATO has it, it's massive. Everybody just looks at it and goes, this is too hard, just claim the fixed rate method. Now the reason I have said if you own your own home, use the fixed rate method is simply because the last thing you want to do is drag in the rates, the mortgage payments of your home into your business, and later on find that when you go to sell your home, you're now kind of voided your 100% exemption of your capital gains because you used it for money-making purposes, and now therefore it has been implicated into capital gains tax. Okay, so if you own your own home, just calculate the number of hours you're working from home and use the fixed rate method. All right. Now, if you're using the fixed rate method, I said that you can't claim, that includes your electricity, your home internet, and your telephone, but it doesn't include office costs. So you can still claim your stationery. You can still claim if you've bought a new desk, you can claim that, you can write that off. If it's over $300, in theory, you were supposed to depreciate that over the number of years that that can be used or claimed. I think it's probably 2 years. I don't know an accountant that will actually say to you, if it's over $300, depreciate it. Most of them will go, if it's over $1,000, then you're depreciating it. If it's under $1,000, but the ATO does state 300. It's just too much work for what it's worth. And the ATO is not going to audit you on that kind of stuff and go, well, you should have really depreciated that over 2 years. It's just too much work involved. Your professional development and your memberships. Yes, your memberships to local bodies are tax deductible for you. Professional development, depending on what it is tax deductible for you. If you are currently a marriage celebrant and you've decided to do, what's one of the other ones, Adam, that you guys are doing?
Oh, for our students in Queensland, we do Justice of the Peace training. Probably
Yeah, so,
everybody would do funeral training.
Yeah, so if you're currently a celebrant and you've decided that you're going to add funerals in there, then the cost of doing that course to be a funeral director is tax deductible for you. Or if you're currently a funeral director and you've decided to add marriage celebrancy, then the celebrancy course is now further development, so you can claim that course. If you are not working in the industry in any way now, the course that you're doing is not tax deductible for you. Okay, so if you want to claim the course that you're currently doing, you must be working in an area where this is going to just help you increase your income. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah, Jodi, on that, we have discussed you can be a funeral celebrant without being registered with the Attorney General. So you in theory, you could start your celebrancy business as a funeral celebrant, and then your training as a marriage celebrant would be tax deductible to your business.
Correct. As long as you have actually shown the ATO prior that you're in that kind of industry. So if you already have an ABN and you already tell the ATO via your tax return that you've got an ABN that's running funeral directorship,
Celebrancy, yeah.
Yeah, celebrancy, then they would see that you're already in that industry, and therefore this course is now tax deductible. Now, once again, this course would then be claimed on that business schedule and not on the first, I think, 2 pages where you are claiming work-related deductions. Okay, so work-related deductions would be claimed for anything where you are an employee, whereas because this is professional development under your ABN, you'd be claiming that course under that business schedule. So there's 2 different places. And that kind of tells the ATO how you're trying to claim this. So if you were working for a funeral home now, at the moment, and you were an employee of that funeral home and you chose to do the marriage celebrancy course, you would claim that deduction on the first 2 pages under the employee deductions, and you would be claiming that as further education. Okay, hopefully that clarifies that. Whereas if you were a funeral celebrant and you had an ABN and then did the marriage celebrancy course, you would claim that under the business schedule.
Yes. Great.
Cool. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so record keeping. The ATO wants you to keep all of your receipts and your invoices for 5 years. Now, that doesn't mean you have to keep the physical piece of paper. There are plenty of apps out there that you can use to take photos of these things and store them in. And as long as you have an electronic copy of them that you can call up for the next 5 years, then you can bin the paper. All right. Now, there are a number of record keeping tools out there or softwares that you can use: Xero, MyOb, QuickBooks, Zoho, Henry. There's lots of them. The most popular ones, of course, is your MyOb, your Xero, and your QuickBooks. But there are plenty of smaller platforms that don't charge as much. There's even Invoice to Go, which I think you can use for free, and you can still track your income and your expenses on there. Now, some of them have add-on apps that you can use for receipt capturing. Okay, Xero, for instance, has HubDoc. MyOb has one called Capture. QuickBooks has its own one. Excuse me. But there are also independent ones like Dext or Receipt Bank, Easy Bills, where you can take photos of these receipts and keep them for the next 7 years. They just charge a little bit for the software. If you want to take pictures and download them into a OneDrive for yourself and file them under years, that's also okay. Just keep them in some way. I mean, I would take photos personally myself and file them on something, simply because the thermal paper that they use fades within a year, especially in the Queensland area. 2 weeks down the track and a receipt sitting in your car, and all of a sudden now it's just a blank piece of paper. So take a photo is the easiest way. Yeah. We do have a spreadsheet on here for you to use. Now there is 2 spreadsheets. One is a business schedule with GST and one's without GST. So if you're not GST registered, just use the business schedule that's on here. It is still split up into quarters, does have a space for your income and expenses down the bottom. It just makes transferring that information onto your individual tax return and business schedule on your individual tax return much easier at the end of the year. Okay, so this is just a copy of it here. If you want it emailed out to you, just reach out. Happy for it to.
I'll make sure to include it in the email when I send out the link to the webinar.
Yeah, it just makes it so much easier. It all rolls into a year-end pro forma for you, just simplifies it.
I
Okay.
thought you liked it in a shoebox, Jodi. I mean, that's the name of your company, right?
Pardon? How did we get
I
to
thought,
shoebox?
yeah, I thought you just liked it all crammed into a shoebox and then handed
And
over at the end of the year.
hey, when we first started, we used to actually hand out shoeboxes to people. I'm not going to lie, COVID did wonders for our business, where all of a sudden we couldn't go collect shoeboxes from anybody, and all the tradies out there were forced to actually use a virtual shoebox. So now they all use HubDoc or Dext or something like that, and we no longer collect.
Right. Now, we were talking offline and you were discussing some of your favorite and least favorite software platforms.
Okay. Yep. My
And
favorite
maybe we could also get Jean to weigh in with what she uses.
What do you use, Jean? So you're on mute.
I should know better. I should know better. I use a spreadsheet to record all of my expenses, let's say, and it's not as refined as the one that you've just shared. So I'm just looking at it and thinking, yeah, this is much better than what I do. And I use an invoicing system called Wave, WAVE. It's free, and it tracks everything that I need tracking as well. I don't digitalize my dockets. I still put them in a filing cabinet by year and then pull them out at the end of the financial year. But yeah, it's time to start digitalizing all of those things. So I've just written down HubDoc. I've heard a little bit about that particular platform. So what do you think?
Yeah, so HubDoc is owned by Xero. You can use it independently of Xero. You don't have to use it. They charge, I think, $15 a month to use just the HubDoc. I do have clients where they will take pictures randomly. Now, HubDoc is a good first tier receipt capture app. So when you send it across to Xero, it doesn't always match to the actual transaction. So I have clients that will just randomly take 150 photos, but I've already reconciled all of those transactions anyway. So those photos won't match to already reconciled things. And so therefore I just go to them, look, you know what, your HubDoc is just a library. I'm not going to actually push it across to Xero and attach them to the transactions. It's just a library for you. It's there. If the ATO comes hunting, we can do a search on the amount and the date, and we will find what we need. But then I have other clients where perhaps in food and beverage industry where what they purchase doesn't actually have GST on it. And that's where I'll say to them, we're not using HubDoc for you because it's too basic. Whereas Dext will look through your software, find that that transaction's actually already been reconciled, tell me that it's been reconciled, but also tell me that it's missing the document, and do I just want to push the document and attach it to that piece, to that transaction. So it's a lot more user-friendly. It has a better AI in it, but for what you guys are doing, like I said, take a picture on your phone and email it to yourself and file it in invoices or a receipts folder on your inbox. Simply just have somewhere and a process in order to record those things and digitize them. Your filing cabinet is good for so long, Jean, before if the
It
ATO
starts to
comes,
burst at the seams.
well, not just that, but if the ATO comes, I mean, and you never know when they're going to audit you. They might come to you and go, hey, we're going to audit something from 4 years ago. So go back to your receipts and find us this, this, and this. And you go, well, great, but they were on thermal paper and sitting in my filing cabinet in the last 4 years.
All faded.
They've all faded. Whereas if you can go back to an inbox in your Outlook and go, great, here's all my receipts, here's all my years. It's somewhere in the 2020 year or the 2022 year. So somewhere in here, I can find that receipt.
Yes, much better way.
Yeah. All right, I'll move it on to the next slide. ABN and GST.
Okay, so if you are going to give out invoices, you need to have an ABN in order to provide an invoice or a tax invoice. You don't have to be GST registered in order to do what you're doing, unless you actually hit the threshold of 75,000. Now, just because you don't hit the threshold for the GST registration doesn't mean that you can't. If you choose to register, then you can register. Simple as that. But it does mean then providing or completing BASs. BASs are either completed, well, normally completed quarterly, but you can complete a BAS on an annual basis. The ATO just then says to you, well, if you're going to provide us with a BAS on an annual basis, we want you to pay GST installments to ensure that at the end of the year, you have either paid the GST component of the BAS or you're at least halfway there. It's a bit like PAYG installments, that if you are self-employed, they like you to be on installments to help prepay the tax at the end of the year, so you're not stuck with a $15,000 tax bill that you can't pay. Okay. Yeah. In terms of registration, if you are running 2 separate businesses on the ABN and one of those businesses needs to be GST registered, therefore both of those businesses need to be GST registered. Okay, so if you're splitting an ABN and using it for both your cupcake business and your celebrancy, but your cupcake business turns over 75,000 and has to be GST registered, because you're using the same ABN, your celebrancy is GST registered also. Okay. And being GST registered doesn't mean that you're just paying, that you're charging GST on your invoices. It also means that you're claiming the GST back on any expenses that you have. So your fuel, your telephone costs, your mobile costs, going to Officeworks, the GST that you're paying out and purchasing things from Officeworks, you can claim those back as well. Okay.
Good to know.
All right, setting money aside for tax. Probably most important here for you guys to set some money aside if you have employee jobs as well, and you tend to, and you're wanting to run your celebrancy as a side hustle. You're going to be paying PAYG as an employee, but that's not covering the money that you earned through your celebrancy. So put some extra money aside. The last thing you want to do is get to the end of year, have earned an extra $10,000 in celebrancy, but no tax is being paid. And now you've got a $3,000 or $4,000 tax bill to pay because you've moved from one threshold to another on taxable income. It's fairly normal for us to just spit out a number and go, put aside 30%, makes it easy. If nothing else, at the end of the year, you've got 30% savings there. If you've managed to expense off the full amount that you've earned, then you've now got 30% as savings. Keep it in a separate bank account so that you're not going, oh, I just need to use it. I actually use a different bank, so I can't see it. Pretty terrible at going, oh, there's some money, I think I'll just spend.
Are there rules around that, Jodi? Do you, are you suggesting that as a best practice, or does it matter? Could you put
it doesn't
Bitcoin for
matter.
the year? Could you put it on your mortgage offset account for the year? Are there rules around that sort of thing?
As long as your partner lets you take it back.
Yeah, I actually stick mine on my mortgage offset, but my mortgage is with another bank, because if I see money, I spend money. So my everyday spending is with one bank, my mortgage and my offset is with a separate bank. I actually don't have a card with that bank. And so at the end of the year, when I then go, okay, well, my tax is in my offset and it is set aside, but I look at it and I cringe every time I have to draw down and pay it back, because I'm like, it's my money and it's my savings. And I think of it as having paid off my mortgage. So I will often find savings from elsewhere so I don't have to take it off my mortgage again. But the purpose is tax savings sitting on my mortgage.
Great idea, Jodi. Great idea.
I mean, that is a great idea, because I know that a lot of
It
us
is.
get into
Yeah.
a side hustle, right? Which is to make an additional income, but you're also talking about additional savings. So yeah, that's a great idea.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean,
Alright.
the money may as well work for you. I mean, at one stage, I was just paying it straight to the ATO just to clear it out of my bank account so that I wasn't thinking about, I mean, I love to shop just like any of them. I love clothes and shoes too. So I was paying it, just paying across to my BAS or to my income tax account so that it was sitting there. And then I just kind of went, you know what? They don't give me any interest for having prepaid any of that money. I may as well have it sitting on my mortgage and actually save me some money.
Absolutely.
But I do get to the end of the year and I go, great, I've got a $2,000 tax bill that I need to pay. Yes, I have it saved on my mortgage, but is there something else I can do to find a way to pay that so I don't have to take it off my mortgage? Pick up another wedding and just put the whole lot to tax.
Okay. Let's go to the next one. Superannuation.
Okay, so superannuation is not compulsory for you if you are running a side hustle under an ABN. But the biggest thing we see when we have sole traders who come to see us, or even companies where the director is not an employee of that company, is that they are not taking care of their future self. And you want to be making sure that whatever you're doing now is still going to take care of your future self. And that is the best way to take care of it is with your superannuation. If you make voluntary contributions to your superannuation, they are tax deductible for you at the end of the year. You do need to actually notify your superannuation that you intend to claim it. And that is with and it's quite literally called a notice of intent to claim. Hey, I've put $2,000 towards my super this year. It was not employer contributions. So I want to claim that on my tax. And they will send you back a letter that says, hey, that $2,000 is claimable and you will only pay 15% on that super instead of the taxable income rate that you might be on. Okay.
Jodi, is there a limit to how much you could do? Like, could you potentially put all your earnings as a celebrant, which is your side hustle, into your superannuation?
Yes, you can. I would talk to your accountant first or your financial advisor first. You can, so you're allowed to claim $25,000 per year contributions to your super, but you can also claim the last 5 years if you have not put in voluntary contributions. Like I said, I would ask your accountant first or your financial advisor, because we can look on the ATO to see what those concessional contributions are for you and tell you how much you can make, can put in. The last thing we want is for you to put in $100,000 and yet you only had 88,000 that you could put in as concessional contributions, and now you're paying the highest tax rate on the additional stuff. Okay, I think there is a misconception out there that you don't pay tax on your superannuation. You do. It's just at a lower rate at 15%. Okay, so all we're doing here is if you've made voluntary contributions, we're dropping it out of whatever tax bracket you might be in down to a 15%, and you'll get the difference in tax back. So, you know, if you're paying 27% tax on your marginal tax rate, you'll get the 12% back as a difference.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay. Tax time. We're there, aren't we? It's that time of year.
We
You're
are
not
that
busy at
time
all,
of
are
year.
you, Jodi?
We are flat stick at the moment. So when you do both bookkeeping and taxes, there is no downtime for us. Any accountant who doesn't do bookkeeping out there at the moment is twiddling their thumbs going, come on, when can I start? We don't recommend people do taxes until August. The reason we suggest wait until August is the fact that, first of all, your employer, if you are employed, has 14 days to lodge your single touch payroll and notify the ATO of how much you've earned this year. You used to be given a certificate of earnings. You don't get those anymore. They're now electronic and they're updated on the ATO. So 14 days for us to finalize everybody's employee information. But things like your health insurance, your banks, crypto, TPAR. Now, some of you might not know about TPAR, but TPAR is taxable payments. If you've worked as a contractor for somebody else, that person has to notify the ATO how much you've earned on that ABN. That will be on your pre-fill report. If you've transacted through Square, Stripe, or any of the other payment platforms, they actually report to the ATO how much you've transacted through those reports too. And those reports come through to a tax agent like me and just give us promptings on what kinds of questions we need to ask you. The things that we're looking out for is, hey, you've worked as a sole trader this year. You've told me that you've earned $30,000 as a sole trader. But what's been reported to the ATO says that you earned $40,000 as a sole trader. So you and I need to have a discussion to find out where the extra 10,000 is. It does tell me who has said they've paid you what. So I can actually come to you and say, hey, ABC says that they actually contracted to you for 35,000 and you've got 10,000 here from CD&E. And you've told me that A, B, and C you only charged out or earned 25,000. So there's $10,000 discrepancy there. And we need to work out where that is. Sometimes it's going back to ABC and going, hey, you've told the tax department that you paid me 35. My records show 25. Can you adjust that? And they may go back and look and go, oh yeah, you're right. We've just got a typo there and we need to change that. But if we don't have those conversations with the people who you have subcontracted to, the ATO, that's going to spark an audit with the ATO because they're going to go, hey, none of this matches up. Crypto is another one. Lots of people just think that because they haven't actually sold any crypto that it doesn't need to be reported. You just need to tell your tax agent, hey, yes, I have crypto. It's been sitting there for 2 years. It's just been ticking over. I haven't transacted and I need to let the ATO know that. Yes, I have a crypto account, but no, there's been no capital gains event happen. So it's just a nil. So the reason this is why we say to you, please don't do your tax returns until August, because all of those things, all of those places and organizations have 30 days to lodge that information to the ATO. The last thing you want to do is do your tax return early in July in order to get that refund back. The ATO is going to come to you in August and go, hey, such and such and such has now reported and you need to amend your tax return because you haven't declared the interest that you earned from that bank because it wasn't on your pre-fill. All right. Can use a tax agent. Plenty of us tax agents out there. Yes, everybody charges to do your tax returns. If you're using an agent, you have an extension, or you have until the 31st of October to do it yourself if you want to. But if you use a tax agent, then you get an extension through to May next year. Okay, doing your taxes early does not mean you have to pay those taxes early. You still have until the 15th of May next year to actually pay your taxes off. If it is a larger sum, you can enter into a payment arrangement with the ATO that will allow you to pay it off. That payment time changes now. It used to be a fixed term of 2 years. If you had $12,000 to pay, they would allow you 2 years to pay it off. But in the last 2 years, they've changed that, and now it seems to be a revolving door. Sometimes they'll give you 6 months, sometimes they'll give you 10 months, sometimes they'll give you 10 years. And as a tax agent, we can't tell you how long they're going to give you. Okay. But payment plans are easy enough to set yourself up with, and an easy way to avoid nasty letters and phone calls from the ATO. Because if you've just set up a payment plan, they leave you alone. Okay.
Okay.
What do we got next?
How to avoid those nasty calls and letters.
Okay, avoid those nasty calls and letters. Set up a payment plan. If you've got a tax debt to pay, just set up a payment plan. Easiest way to keep them off your back. Lodge whatever takes compliance documents you've got. If you've got a BAS to do, if you've just got tax returns to do, if you've done it in time, they stay away from you and they leave you alone. It's completely random as to who they actually go knocking on the door with. I've got clients who owe the tax department hundreds of thousands and never receive a letter from the ATO, and other clients who are on time and might be 5 days late and doing something, and the ATO is knocking on their door. It's random. But if you're compliant all the time, they leave you alone. If you are approaching 75,000 and you're sole trader, register for GST early. 2 reasons. If you know that you're going to hit the threshold in May, register for GST for the 1st of July. At least the ATO knows that you are looking at your numbers. They're going to leave you, if you hit $78,000 in that tax year, but you registered in May for GST starting the 1st of July, they're going to leave you alone, and they're not going to say, hey, but you've got $3,000, you're over the threshold, pay GST on that. They're not going to care, because they know that you've looked and actually taken some action to register moving forward. So they kind of leave you alone. As long as you are looking to be doing the right thing, they're not harsh on you. And as long as you communicate with the ATO, they're not harsh on you. If you phone them and go, hey, I'm going to be late with my tax return, can you give me a month's extension? I can almost guarantee they're going to give you an extension. Whereas if you just hope they ignore the fact that you're going to be late and just go, well, let's just wing it and see if we can just lodge 30 days late, for sure they're just going to go, should have asked for an extension, we would have given it to you. But because you didn't, we're going to penalize you. In terms of your deductions that you're trying to claim, be reasonable. Don't try to push the envelope and go, well, you know, hey, I went to an event and yes, I did a wedding, but I really want to claim the dress. So I purchased it while I was at the venue. So therefore I'm going to try and claim it. The ATO is just going to look at you and go, it's clothing and you had to wear clothing. Doesn't matter whether it's a prettier dress than what you took. You can't claim it. Just be reasonable with it. And if you've got evidence, hold on to the evidence. Like I said, if you can digitize it, if you've taken photographs of invitations of weddings that you've attended as evidence that you've attended that wedding, just take a photo and file it with your receipts in that particular year, like all of your other receipts. Then if the ATO asks questions, you know you've got photographs. Okay. What else we got?
Right. Okay. That's a cherry subject.
All right. So if you have professionals that you're currently working with, by all means, ask for their help. There are plenty of tax agents out there that will answer some questions. I do all the time. My Facebook page is open and I will get lots and lots of questions going, hey, do you mind just answering me this? I just want to know if I have to lodge a tax return because I'm a working holiday maker. I don't have a problem answering that question. I would much rather somebody actually be informed of what they're doing than worrying about whether I'm charging for it. So I answer lots of questions on our Facebook page in regards to that kind of thing. No, I don't charge for it because somewhere along the way it swings and roundabouts and somebody's going to. This lady answered a question for me free of charge on Facebook. Go and see her. She'll do your tax return for you. It comes around.
Actually, I'm going to have to say right here, Jodi, your Instagram, I was telling you this before, their socials are so on point. If you want to see some good socials, go check out Shoebox Books. It was remarkable. I had to mention that to Jodi because it was quite impressive. So if if you're getting your own socials for your celebrity business up and running, go and have a look at Jodi's Instagram account. You'll be impressed. There's some good ideas there.
Yeah, we do have a very good social media expert. Yeah, so if you have other businesses that you're using and you need bookkeepers for those businesses, you may want to just tag this on to what they're doing. I have given you a spreadsheet there. By all means, use it. And no, you don't have to come back to me to get your tax return done. I'm happy to help you if you want to. But if you've got an accountant, I know they will be more than grateful for you by providing them with a finished spreadsheet. One of my pet peeves is, and I've got a few friends that do this who just love to go, hey, here's a year's worth of my bank account statements. Can you just do my tax return for me? Just pull out what deductions I can use. I'm like, I'm not your PA. If you want me to do that, I'm going to charge you for it because it's a pain in the butt. I give you a spreadsheet for a reason. Just use it and help us both out. It's going to save you money. It's going to save me some time. Okay. Pick somebody who understands your industry, who understands that what you can and can't claim. The last thing you want is to be using somebody who's just gone, sure, if you said it's tax deductible, then it's tax deductible and is going to claim it. Because at the end of the day, they might get a slap on the hand as the tax agent, but you're the one that's going to have to pay the tax on whatever has been excluded from your tax returns in an audit. Okay, so pick somebody who knows exactly what they're doing for your industry and can help you out. Stay compliant. Please don't get fall behind. We see a lot of people come who come to see us and go, I'm 3 years behind and it's really giving me anxiety, but I really don't know where to start. It's like if you had stayed on top of this back then, rather than sticking it in the too hard basket, it gets even harder. Just ask for help. If you don't know what you're doing for this year, ask somebody to help you. Plenty of people that will offer advice out there or even just get it done for you. Okay.
All right. Well, that brings us to question and answer time. I'm going to unstop the share and then we can get into that. All right. Right, Jean, have you been keeping track of the questions?
There aren't any.
They're in the question and answer down the bottom there. If you click on more, there's a Q&A icon.
Oh, okay. I can't see that, Adam. Is that because I'm not?
Let's see. Are you co-host?
Because I'm co-host, I can't actually see where the Q&A is.
Have you looked under more?
Yes, I'm looking under more. Okay. Live chat, no. Can you see it?
Yeah,
I can't see
I can see
any.
it. I can see it.
Can you see
All
it?
right.
Okay, might hand it over to you. I can't see it.
I currently salary sacrifice for a vehicle. Is it more beneficial to lease a vehicle or buy when self-employed as a celebrant? Kind regards, Pauline.
I found it.
That depends, Pauline. If you've got an employee job and you can salary sacrifice through that job, then leave it right where it is. You can still claim that vehicle through on the first couple of pages. I say couple of pages because what you see if you're doing your own tax return looks different to what I see doing it as a tax professional. So for me, it would be on the second page, and I would actually put that vehicle in there and claim the mileage for the whatever you can use. I would always recommend keeping a logbook, even if you're using it for a short term. You can claim, if you are not going to claim any other deductions for your vehicle, like the lease costs, the petrol, the insurance and the registration, and you're not going to claim those things, you can claim a standard 5,000 kilometers per year as a deduction if you haven't kept a logbook. If you've kept a logbook, then keep all of your receipts for your petrol, your mortgage, your loan payments or your lease payments, repairs and maintenance, registration, insurance. And then what we do is going, okay, so over the year, you've done 10,000 kilometers. 1,000 of those is for work related. So therefore 10% of all of the expenses of running your car are now tax deductible. Now the ATO is quite lenient here. They actually ask you to pick the best way for you to actually claim. So we might run 10% of all of your costs for your vehicle, and it might be under the 5,000 kilometer method. So the ATO actually says, which one's better for you? If $5,000 claiming a straight $5,000 works out better as a deduction for you, they say claim $5,000 and it lets us pick, okay? But if you have a salary sacrificing at the moment, you would claim that on the second page under your employer deductions, because that's where it is at the moment. We would take, if you have recorded on your spreadsheet running costs for your vehicle, we would actually reconcile it out of there and stick it over in the one, so that you're only claiming a vehicle and showing the running of a vehicle in one place. If the ATO sees it in two places, as in on your business schedule and under the deductions, they're going to ask questions, and that's going to spark an audit.
Okay.
Does that help you, Paula?
Pauline.
Pauline, sorry. Hopefully that helps.
Okay, so we've got another question from Nida. If you offer more than one service in the wedding industry, do you need to have separate ABNs or use the same one?
Use the same one. Okay, so even if you are running similar styles of things, so funeral celebrancy or chaplaincy, it's all within the same industry. Use the one ABN, just all on the one business schedule as well. It's only if they were completely unrelated that you would split them into different business schedules. Okay, like I said, cooking, plumbing, electrical, completely different to celebrancy, therefore two different schedules.
Hey, Tracy is asking, do you need an ABN as a sole trader?
If you are going to provide somebody with a tax invoice, you must have an ABN in order to provide that tax invoice. We were talking earlier before this started about hobby businesses. You can have a hobby business and you can earn under $18,000 as a hobby business, and you don't need to have an ABN, but you can't provide anybody with a tax invoice under a hobby business because there's no ABN. So the majority of the people that you're going to be working with are going to be asking for invoices, therefore you need to have an ABN.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. All right. So Selena asks, hi, if I have a referral system with my clients or partners, e.g., they will get a $100 either cash or gift card voucher if I can lock a deal with each customer they refer to me. Could I claim this on tax deduction? Is there a limitation? Thank you.
Yes, you can claim it. If you are paying out referrals, it is an expense to your business, whether that be gift cards or whether that be actual cash. I would set up or change one of the headings on that spreadsheet and just go referrals paid. And I would also create an income line for referrals received, referral income received. It's not uncommon if you can find somebody that will actually just partner up with you instead of giving, paying referral fees, whatever. But generally, I mean, any business would claim the referral costs under advertising because effectively somebody else has done that advertising for you. And so the referral fee that you've paid is effectively paying somebody for advertising your business.
Yeah. Okay, Chris is asking, if the couple requests specific themed clothes, like The Greatest Showman, is that deductible?
Oh, it's a hard one.
Only if they purchase the thing at the wedding.
Yeah, it's a really hard one, that one. You know what would get rid of any of that is if you hired it, hiring that outfit, totally deductible. But purchasing it for yourself because you're going to use it for, because you can use it anytime. Not going to lie, the ATO is going to come to you and go, where's the fringe benefit tax on that? Because there's a fringe benefit attached to purchasing something that you can use later on, but you hire it. Go hire something.
So we should all be hiring our dresses then, Jodi.
Oh, there's plenty of places that you can claim totally 100% deductible to hire. Yep. But purchasing it for yourself, nope.
No. And then look, that gets rid of the problem of having a different dress with every Instagram shot that you're posting, is that you're hiring it and then you can claim it. Okay, love it.
All right, so
there's plenty of places that you can hire those, beautiful ball gowns from. Yeah.
Sorry, Adam. Yeah, I'm being a bit.
Ray asked the question, and this gets asked every year. Is clothing tax deductible if you wear branded clothing with your own logo?
Yes, it is. But do you really want to wear a suit that has your logo printed on it?
Yeah. Or your Anthea Crawford dress, never.
Exactly. Yes, I'm wearing a logoed shirt right now. This is tax deductible for me. Can I claim the laundry of it? No, I can't, because my logo is not registered on the ATO site. So therefore my laundry is not covered. But purchasing the shirt, embroidering it, all goes under advertising. Yes, it is. I just don't know anybody that wants to logo a beautiful dress that they've just purchased to do a wedding or a suit. In fact, I don't know any celebrants that would actually stand up there with a badge on showing who they are and what they're doing.
Well,
some do. Some do. I don't. Yeah.
I'm just thinking actually of, we have Judith Johns. She's the director at White Lady Funerals in Meadowside. And of course they have the very sort of iconic
outfit that they wear.
Outfit with a red hat.
Yeah.
That would be branded, wouldn't it? I mean, it's not our industry. I know
it's a uniform. It's a uniform,
and it's actually purchased by the business and provided to the employees. So yes, the business would claim that. Can you? So the business is claiming that and providing that to employees, a bit the same as, hey, McDonald's does it too.
Yeah. Those bigger places. They would claim cleaning then, wouldn't they? Would they?
Yeah, but that's because their logo would actually be registered.
With,
the body that registers logos.
Yeah.
It's so many people claim laundry on their tax returns because they go, yeah, but I'm going to claim laundry because I wore this to work, but it's not a registered uniform
Okay. Yeah.
to claim. The ATO just kind of blanket whitewashes it, go, hey, generally speaking, it's $250, therefore we just don't care because it's under.
Okay, we're 5 minutes past the hour now. I usually cut us off right on the hour because I like to respect everybody's time, including yours, Jodi. If Jean, if you want to like look through the questions and ask, maybe we've got time, maybe one more question to be fair.
One more question. Okay. Well, I just want to say that Kerry said she's a hairdresser. So she would do an invoice. Yay.
Where are
Okay, I
you
think I've
based?
got that one right. Yeah, Kerry, I'm a hairdresser. I would do the invoice if requested. And Veronica asked, can we provide the invoice for hair so that they don't need to go to the trouble and get it signed? I don't think so, but I'm
Well,
not the expert. Yeah, because it's their invoice. Yeah, that it should be.
It is called what they call an RCTI, so a recipient. No, what is it?
Recipient.
Oh, I can't even think of the name of it. We just simply short term it to an RCTI where the recipient has actually provided the invoice for the company. It's often done in towing companies or transport companies where they just don't want to put everybody on as employees and pay superannuation. So they force everybody into a company anyway. They often will provide RCTIs to the people that we're working for, saying, here's what we're paying you. You don't need to give us an invoice because we're going to tell you what we're paying you, and this is what you've done for us today. It's not uncommon, but it is uncommon in this industry. Like I said, if you can find a hairdresser who will do that for you, I would also, again, hey, I've had my hair and makeup done for this event. I've stated on there what the wedding is and where the wedding, what date it's on, but I'm going to attach a copy of the invitation as well as evidence. The more evidence you can provide to the ATO to calm them down, the less likely they're going to be going, nah, you can't claim it. So
and to that point, Jodi, Jana asked, would the invoice that you've raised for the wedding be enough proof that you're actually at the wedding?
Well, it's all it does is kind of amplify the evidence that you're providing. Hey, I've given an invoice for a wedding on this date. Here is a copy of the invitation. There's likely to be photos plastered on Facebook afterwards. Take a screenshot of one of them where you're in the background to show that you were there on that day. Provide an invoice for the hair and makeup that was done on that day for that wedding. It's invoice. The ATO can't really question it when you've got layer on layer on layer of evidence showing it.
Yeah.
So you're building a case.
You're building a case.
Okay.
Can we ask one more, Adam? Can I ask one more? It's probably
go ahead.
Just about course fees. So Annette's saying, can I claim my Rose training course fees? I'm not registered yet. But if so, in which year, or wait until the next tax year and hopefully I am registered. But I think there's a very short answer to that anyway.
Yeah, very short answer is unless you are actually in some kind of similar industry now, and this is further advancing your income capacity, no, it is not tax deductible. So the first time you do this, it's not going to be tax deductible. You're in the process of all doing a marriage celebrancy, but when you come back and you do chaplaincy or funeral celebrancy, those courses would be in addition to what you're currently doing and therefore tax deductible. The first one you do is not.
Yeah.
And there's about Jodi. 3 people that have asked that question. So thanks for answering that. So once you get registered, and you do additional courses with Rose, all of them are tax deductible. So there you go.
Yes. Yes.
If you're wanting, we do have a mentoring service as well once you're registered. So look out for that. That's tax deductible. And I think it's really reasonable. It means you get a consultation with Jean or Mark or whoever your favorite trainer is. that's another thing to look out for. Yeah. I think we've come to the end of our time, and I know there are more questions. So I wish we could go through more of them, but that's what ChatGPT is, and also check out Jodi's socials. She did say that she's open to the odd question. I'm sure comes a point where you probably want to become a client and as well. So thanks for joining us today, everybody. And Jodi, thank you so much for taking this time to inform us at this time of year when we're all doing our taxes and we're looking forward to getting our businesses and such going. So thanks so much again.
No problem. Happy to help.
Thanks, Jodi.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
See you next
everyone, for
month.
joining
Take care.
us. Bye.
Bye-bye.